Tamasha. Tamasha is a word coming of Persian origin. It has happily been accepted in many Indian languages. It means a show or a theatrical performance, and later it also means something fun to watch. Sometimes we say, "Kya tamasha kar rahe ho?" It's kind of creating a scene, and that is called tamasha. In the area of folk performances of India, tamasha refers to the folk theatre traditions of Maharashtra. It began in the late 16th century. According to some scholars, as late as 18th century, as a form of entertainment for the army, and it had in its early days a reputation of being rather raw and rowdy. According to some, tamasha started as gammat, which was presented before Mughal royalty, and this evolved into a khel tamasha. It later came to be called tamasha. During that period, the folk forms popular in Maharashtra was Gondal, Swang and Lalit. A mention of tamasha is also found in Sant Gnaneshwar's writing. According to Sri Lakshman Mahajadav, the author of the book Marathi Rangbhumichi Ladan Gadati, the meaning of tamasha is the performance of different characters to perform puppetry, circus feats, singing lavnis and dances by girls. According to the definition in the Marathi Vishwakosh, the origin of the word tamasha is from Urdu, and it is migrated to Marathi and can be had from the beginning of Muslim rule in South India in 13th and 14th centuries AD. According to Namadeva, tamasha was started between the period from 1659 and 1707 AD. During this period, Muslim soldiers who came to Deccan felt really lonely and bored, and they needed some sort of entertainment. So they invited the local artists and arranged to give performances for the soldiers. The main item was Naikecha Nach, the dance of the heroine, and this type of dance might have developed into tamasha form. There were earlier theatre and music traditions in Marathi speaking area. The musical sketch is called Bhana and one act skits Prahasana. Bhana was performed solo with a lot of wit, song, music, romantic poetry and humorous, whereas the one act plays which were not based on mythological or religious themes, but the themes were about social issues. There is a suggestion also that Qawwali and Kathak, which came with the Mughal rule to Maharashtra, may have had some influence on tamasha. According to some scholars, like Dandavate, it was a mix of Gondal, which was a sort of religious discourse, along with the Lavani style of singing that gave rise to tamasha. The Lavani is still closely associated with tamasha and even confused at times with the term by the uninitiated. However, Lavani refers only to the singing, which was most often in the form of question answers and dialogues between historical or mythological characters or some hero heroine of a romantic ballad. Although the Marathi dance drama came to be called tamasha, the word was used in generic sense, as is evident from a doha ascribed to Kabir. He says, Katha hoya tatha shrota sove, भक्त मुंडा पछया होया जहाँ कही स्वांग तमाशा, tanik na nindra sataye re, which means that people can barely suppress their yawns when a spiritual discourse is on. But at a swang or tamasha, sleep does not bother the spectators. The tamasha has also been renamed as Lokanatya to suggest a more refined form which is meant for family audiences, not something that is associated with vulgarity and obscenity. There are basically two kinds of tamasha groups, the Sangeet Bari and the Dholki Bari, which refer to what they specialize in. The Sangeet Bari, also called Sangeet Baricha Tamasha, have mostly songs and music and maybe Baithak style, whereas 5-6 women sit and sing songs with minimal or no dancing. The Dholki Bari or Dholki Farcha Tamasha has song, dance as well as theatre in the form of Vag, and the troupe has 8 or 10 male actors and singers, with one of them being the main lead actor. There may be just a couple of female dancers and a dholki player as well as other musicians. Both types have a jester called Songdya, who is also a presenter. Traditionally, the essential people in tamasha were that of Sardar or Kudari, Sor Sutradhar, then Songdya, that is the comedian, then Nachya, that is the dancers, Dholkiya, the drummer, and Surne, that is the singer. Shahir Parshurama Fad was very famous during the period of Peshwas. There were 13 artists in that fad. The popular Shahirs or the Shires or poets of Tamasha during the Peshwa rule were Bhaginji Bhad, Parshuram Sagan Bhau, Anand Padi, and Ram Joshi. There is a special genre of music which is the tamasha music. Dholki is the main musical instrument of the tamasha. It is a two-sided cylindrical drum that is about 20 inches long and is slung on the steps at a slant at the level of the hips. It is a cross between the Maddalam of the south and Pakhavach of the north India, and it provides the basic rhythm. One end has diameter of 8 inches while the other striking surface is 6 inches. The dholki is an essential part of the musical vocabulary as the dholki wala echoes the movements of the dancer with his beat. He sets a tempo during dramatic turning points in the play and generally creates the mood and setting. While the dholki gives the basic rhythm, it is the halgi, a sort of tambourine, that accompanies the dholki with sharp accents produced by beating with the hand. The third instrument is called tuntuni. Tuntuni, which has a single string like the ekatara that can be plucked for play in a monotonous and continuous sound. On stage, the musicians form a tight, neat group near the dancers, singers, and the dholkiwala may move around with the artist as if echoing their narrations with his beats. Manjira or cymbals are always present in most folk forms, and there can be an additional duff which is larger than halgi and is beaten with a stick. Another folk instrument is kade, a metal triangle, and that of course the harmonium. Besides this, a larger troupe may have tabla, khanjari and lezim, a very peculiar jingle jangle instrument with metal knobs. Lezim was quite popular a few years ago as a sort of acrobatic dancercise and was even taught in schools. Now you may see it in the rural Maharashtra where a group of senior citizens can do an amazingly agile impromptu dance with the lezims. The drama and farce part of tamasha covers a wide range of themes. It is including but not limited to mythology, patriotism, historical heroes,
social ills, and new ideas. Many may have even a vehicle for propaganda for new ideologies, and of course, just entertainment and good laughter. Some popular heroes for Wagh are Sant Tukaram, Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmibai, Damaji, Chhel Batao. Some themes of the Wagh. Wagh is play. So, some themes of the Wagh or play are etched in public memory, like the Ghadvyache Lagna or donkey's marriage. The play or Wagh has prose and dialogue with the Sutradhar or Sondya filling in details in between. The Lavani songs and dance are introduced through the female roles, and a very characteristic loud sound ji 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 ji, hey 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 are an integral part of the performance. The structure of the performance of tamasha, as with most performing arts, begins with a devotional song to Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. This gan was something the composers of yesteryears prided themselves in, and in fact, there were two types of composers who vied with each other for the best gana. Those who composed the gana with obeisance to Shakti and Shiva were called Ture Wale, and the other rival group of poet singers were called Kalgiwala, and their songs were addressed to Brahma, with Shiva as the destroyer. Later, these songs were direct invocations to Ganesha, asking for his blessings.
The first people to enter the performance are the Dholkiwala and Halgiwala, who set the mood and pace of the performance. They are synchronized to play patterns in a sort of duet of rhythm, announcing the beginning of the performance in loud and clear tones. The second part was Gaulan, referring to the Gwalian or the Govalian, the milkmaids, in dalliance with the Lord Krishna. This part is filled with jest and cheeky wit, innuendo and involves not only Krishna and Radha and the gopis, but in tamasha there is a friend of Krishna called Pendya, as well as Maushi, the auntie, who is a man dressed as a female character, who tries to stop the dalliance between Krishna and the gopis, as Krishna and his friend try to waylay them while they are going to Mathura to sell the butter and milk. This is a theme popular in most dance dramas involving Krishna and his Leelas, where he tried to extract a tax or dan. There is a lot of argument, but of course, in the end, Krishna has to have his way and gets the butter for tax. While using the Krishna theme in Gaulan, many folk drama artists use the platform to include messages about social problems. The audience is very involved in tamasha and may exchange jokes and comments freely. If a member of the audience likes some piece of performance or a particular, he may go up to the stage and give him some money as a gift. This Daulat Jadda or money giving to request for an encore or special song was started during the Mughal times. Sometimes a member of the audience may ask the dancer to sing the song again, but while sitting or with her sari pallu fanned over her head. This dance is common in tamasha, and the dancer may sing, smile, pout, wink and sulk, looking directly at the person, the patron, holding the end of her sari over her head. The gesture is of course always connecting to the spectators. That is the Songdya. In the Gaulan section of the tamasha, the gesture talks to Krishna and gives his suggestion to the milkmaids and chats with the Maushi. He has total freedom to come and go as he pleases through the performance and to gog the audience mood to add a joke or a song. In traditional tamasha, an important part was played by the shair, who was the poet composer. The dance style of tamasha is very characteristic and does have the influence of Kathak from the north, as well as traces of Bharatanatyam and even Kathakali of South Indian traditions. The foot movements is definitely like the rapid steps of Kathak, but the hand gestures are faintly like Bharatanatyam. In contrast to the full foot stamping on the floor in Tamasha, the foot movements are toe and heel, and there is not much turning in circles. But in no way do the Tamasha dancers follow any classical dance form, but are rather free and informal, dancing to the beat of the music. They do have certain and very typical movements which are created, I think, on the Marathi Milo. The songs of Tamasha are called Lavani and are more often than not romantic, sensual songs. The word Lavani is to be from Sanskrit word Lapanika, which refers to sensual beauty. But in Marathi, Lavani also refers to the agricultural activity of transplanting rice and rice harvest. It is possible that the earliest Lavani songs were those sung by women while working in the fields. For Indian in India, there is a rich repertoire of such songs for each activity. Later, these Lavani songs became a part of tamasha, especially during the Peshwa period. There are also songs called chakkat, which are like conversation and have the actors singing and miming the action. These often involve poetic dialogues of a man showing his interest in a woman and praising her beauty, and she responds by telling him off. Urdu Qawwali and Ghazal have also been added to tamasha due to the influence of North on the Deccan. The question answers may be romantic, sensual, or even philosophical. In fact, a type of love song called Vedic included in tamasha is based on Vedantic philosophy. As with most folk theatres in India, it was young boys who dressed up as a woman and danced in tamasha and sang the Lavani songs. They were called Nachya. In recent years, women dressed in bright Navwari, the 9-yard Marathi sari, elaborate hairdo and jewellery, complete with huge nose ring, are the expert Lavani singers, and their deft footwork is accentuated by the countless gungrus, ankle bells on their feet. In tamasha, there may be a farce which is mainly to make people laugh at the comical look at day to day mundane situations with humor. The dramas are written and planned by the troupe leader and have improvised dialogues based on the short storyline, and the actors have the freedom to add or enhance the mood based on the audience reaction. The plot of drama is sung out by the actors in a high pitched song called Mani. The actors' dialogues are interspersed with choral singing out with the next turn of events. There are few props, and it is the actor who makes the audience believe he is riding a horse and gazing at a temple in far distance. Sometimes, to suggest a long lapse of time or a long journey, the actor may turn quickly on stage. He may act in more than one role, which is made easier by the fact that the actors do not have a specific get up or makeup, and switching role is facile. Tamasha is a popular form of entertainment in rural Maharashtra. The head of the village or sarpanch usually plans for a tamasha during festival and fairs. The village heads go to the tamasha parties, pay advance to the tamasha organizers, and decide the duration and details of the program, whether there should be Gondal, Vagya Murli, Chezagran, Dashavatar, Dhangar, Kalgitura, etc. In some cases, the tamasha can also be divided in two parts, Purvaranga and Uttaranga. In Purvaranga, Gan, Gaulan and Batwani meeting is included. In Uttaranga, second part, there is a longer dramatic Vaganatya and that is presented. When there was a shift of tamasha being performed for entertaining the common folk rather than soldier, this type of tamasha was called Khandani tamasha. The Khandani tamasha movement was spearheaded by people like Uma Babu, Savlachakar, Pathye Bapurao, Bhanu Pakkad, Hiru Shanu, Shivasabha, Kolapurkar, दगड़ू बाबा शिरोलीकर, भाऊ बापू नारायण गांवकर, रामा कुंभार वर्धन गडकर, बापूराव कुपावडकर, नायक केमरीकर, बापूराव पुराणकर, शावला औरंगापूरकर, नाना धुलवाडीकर, पांडुरंग कुरुकुंभर, Namdev Lavlekar, Shankar Osarikar, Tukaram Khedkar and such others. After the beginning of Khandani Parampara of Tamasha and after going into public, the form has gained popularity among masses and become popular. To attract audience, Tamasha Fad organizers mix various folk forms available in Maharashtra and perform the tamasha with new vigor, but the utmost importance in tamasha was to create a comedy and entertainment. In tamasha, as a rule, cheap and vulgar double meaning dialogues were also used, and for this purpose they have created a role songdya to entertain the audience.
The modern tamasha organizers have started using and adapting a lot to the films and movies. They are adopting cinema music and developing their own songs based on cinematic music in their tamasha performances, as well as using the film music for dance and such things. Their acting styles were also changed, and some of the tamasha actors have started imitating the mannerisms of popular heroes and heroines. Though they have adopted movie styles, they often use a mixture or combination of traditional forms like Gondal, Dandar, Vagya Murli, Che Jagran, Dashavtar. The tamasha was considered to be a low form of entertainment and vulgar in content. So much so that after independence, at the time of then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Kher, he received so many complaints from all sections of society about the increased vulgarity that was being used in tamasha. He decided to impose a ban on the performances of tamasha. It was a big blow to the tamasha groups and troops. Finally, in April 1949, a Mahasabha was held on tamasha at Arya Bhushan Theatre, in which all the tamasha people, tamasha girs, gathered to discuss the urgent need to lift the ban. They discussed the reason and rationale for the banning and decided to make a code of conduct for tamasha. The members of tamasha Sudhar Samiti framed some rules, regulations and aims and objectives to be followed while performing the tamasha. The chief among these were the heroine of the tamasha should not sit in front of the gate for the purpose of publicity. Vulgar and double meaning songs be removed from the performances. Vulgar and double meaning dialogue should also be removed. Vaganatya, that is the modern tamasha, should be censored by the censor committee, and audiences are prohibited from touching the heroine while giving any rewards or money. These were the sanctions put by the Tamasha Sudhar Samiti on the Tamasha groups to uplift the Tamasha performances and remove the obscenities from there.
Khandesh Tamasha. This form is very popular in the area of Jalgaon, Dhulia to Khandesh. In this type of tamasha, at the beginning of the performance, there is a tradition of singing by a group of 7 gents, followed by Vaganatya. The speciality in Khandesh Tamasha is that the Lavani is in the form of verse and the dialogues are prose form. The works of this Khandesh Tamasha can also be availed in Hindi. There is also a difference in the use of musical instruments in Khandesh Tamasha. In this tamasha, 7 members sing the song at the beginning, whereas in Vaidesh Tamasha, only 5 gents participate in the singing. The raga, tala and pallavi of this tamasha is very systematic. Though the artists are not trained in classical music, they sing very well. This type of Vaidesh Tamasha is popular in western zone of Maharashtra only. The presentation of text is both in prose and verse from the beginning of Vaganatya. The Gana singing, a song in which the whole of meaning of Vaganatya is explained. Moreover, in between the Vaganatya, they present colorful Lavani dances called Thakni Lavani. In Vadesh traditional tamasa, Gan, Gulan, Batwani, Vaganatya and all such elements are included. So, I think you have a clear idea of what is tamasha as a folk theatre, its costume, music, theme and its purpose. So, we shall see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.